Hello and welcome to my channel. First up, some interesting trivia about Executor. The shotgun he uses as his primary weapon is most likely a Winchester Model 1887, and he dual wields them during combat. What an absolute Chad. Executor is a spread shooter sniper, and this archetype's trait allows him to attack all enemies in range at once. He'll also deal 150% of damage to enemies in the front row. With this trait, Executor can clear out waves of enemies with ease and even take on harder enemies by himself. Snipers from this archetype boasts higher than average HP and defense, but has a high DP cost and long attack interval. The DP cost is the biggest problem when dealing with spread shooters. Aside from that, his stats are decent. Moving on to his talent, Executor's attacks ignore enemies' defense, a relatively simple talent but a pretty good one at that. He can now dish out more damage onto enemies. Do note that only Executor himself will ignore the defense, not the other operators. Next up are his skills. Executor's first skill gives him an attack buff and applies his trait effect to all enemies in range. This means that all enemies in range receives 1.5 times more damage from Executor's attacks. This skill has an average SP cost of 45 in good duration, the perfect skill to clear out waves of enemies ranging from low to mid defense, but he'll start to struggle against high defense enemies. Now, if you want more guides like these, please consider subscribing to stay tuned, it helps me as well. Moving on to his second skill, it changes Executor's attacks to hitting enemies twice per shot. He will also get a big attack speed increase, reducing his attack interval from 2.3 to 1.4 seconds. It has a high SP cost and a rather short duration for a skill with such a long downtime. While this skill might seem stronger at first glance, it lacks any attack scaling abilities. This means when going against higher defense enemies, Executor's damage output won't be enough to do noticeable damage. For a unit that costs 31 DP to deploy, this isn't good. That being said, this skill is great against fast-moving enemies and low to mid-defense enemies thanks to the attack speed increase and dual strike ability. But his first skill is still preferred over his second at the end of the day. So, should you pull and build Executor? Sadly, I'd say probably not. And the main reason being the existence of Bikini Woman. Tough competition won't even cover the sheer difference in DPS output between the two operators, as Executor's kit doesn't offer anything else other than damage. He is easily overshadowed by the much superior Dragon Lady. That being said, if you like his playstyle or art, go ahead and pull for him. He is one of the few male operators in the game after all, plus he's really hot. And that is all for this operator guide. Hope this video is helpful in introducing Operator Executor. I will be making similar videos in the future, so do consider subscribing to stay tuned. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.